Are you creating content, hitting publish, and then crickets? Well, you're not alone. According to a study by Ahrefs, a staggering 96.55% of content gets no traffic from Google. And the reason usually isn't the quality of your writing, it's the structure of your site. So many people scatter their content across the internet just hoping something's going to stick, and they end up totally invisible to Google. But what if there was an organizational framework that could fundamentally change how search engines see your website? A strategic way to properly post your content so it gets noticed. This is the strategy that separates the sites that gets buried from the ones that dominate search results. Hi there, it's Adrian Newman from Numero Uno Web Solutions, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to put this content strategy to work so you can start enjoying the benefits of increased website traffic. So let's go. Okay, so here's the hard truth. The problem probably isn't your content. It's that your content is just disorganized. You might have dozens of fantastic articles, but they're like lonely islands, isolated and disconnected from each other. When search engines crawl your site, they see this and they have no idea what you're actually an expert in. So the solution is a powerful strategy called the pillar cluster model. It's one of the most effective ways to build what's called topical authority and finally get noticed. So by the end of this video, you're going to have a clear step-by-step plan to turn your scattered posts into an organized content hub that search engines simply just can't ignore. Phase 1. What is a pillar cluster model and why does it work? So imagine your website's a library. If you throw 500 books on the floor, no one can find the information they need. The pillar cluster model organizes those books onto shelves labeled by genre. So there are 3 components. The first is the pillar page, which is like your bookshelf. This is a broad, comprehensive guide, usually 3,000 or more words, that covers a core topic at a high level. It answers the what is X question and touches on every aspect of that subject. The next is the cluster content. These are the books. These are shorter, specific blog posts, usually around 800 to 1,500 words, that address specific long-tail keywords related to the pillar. So they answer the specific questions like, how do I do X? And 3 is internal linking. This is like the Dewey Decimal System. It's the glue. Every cluster links to the pillar, and the pillar links to every cluster. So why does this work? So Google uses EEAT, which I've said before, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness to rank your content. By linking a dozen specific articles to one central hub, you signal to Google that you have covered a topic exhaustively. So phase 2 is how to execute this, and it's a 3-step plan. So this is the how-to. This is shifting your content strategy so that it works. It just comes down to 3 simple practical steps. Okay, step number 1, identifying your core content pillars. So you got to stop thinking about singular keywords like real estate lawyer. I want you to think about broad topics that define your business. So you look at your product or service and you figure what the 3 to 5 major problems you solve. So a real world example is real estate law. So if you're a real estate lawyer, your pillars shouldn't just be about real estate law. They should be buying a home, selling a home, property disputes, and other topics that your potential clients would search for to find you. This approach helps you create relevant and comprehensive content that tackles the most important issues in your industry. So that leads to step 2, where you're going to map your clusters and write the pillar page. So once you have that pillar, so let's say this case is buying a home, you need to map out the supporting content. You can use tools like Answer the Public or SEMrush to find specific questions your users are asking. And the data is clear, because according to Backlinko, long-form content gets an average of 77.2% more links than short articles. So your pillar page needs to be the definitive resource on the internet for that topic. So don't skimp out. Go long. So How do you structure your pillar page? Well, you want to make sure that few things are available. Number one, you want to make sure it's ungated. Don't hide it behind a form, like a lead gen form or a paywall. This is for SEO traffic. You want to use broad navigation. So use a table of contents at the top that all link within the article that people can then scan down and go to maybe specific sections they want to go to. The what is H2. So Google often pulls this for featured snippets. So make sure that you have that on your H2 section of your website. And links out. As you mentioned subtopics, for example, closing costs of a home sale. Link it to future cluster posts. So that way you're building internal links. People are going through your website. When Google crawls it, they see that you have really put a lot of effort into this entire pillar page. You've exhausted everything, and you're the go-to source. And this is where you lead to step 3, build your cluster content. So write the specific articles that support the pillar. These target those long tail keywords. These are phrases with lower search volume, but higher conversion intent. So here's some real world examples using that buying a home pillar. Cluster 1 might be understanding finances and mortgages. Cluster 2 could be the home buying process, a step-by-step guide. And cluster 3 could be local market insights and neighborhoods. Remember, I want you to think about the golden rule of linking. When you publish cluster 1, you must link back to the buying a home pillar page using descriptive anchor text. So good anchor text would be learn more in our comprehensive guide to buying your next home, but bad anchor text might be something like click here to read more about buying a home. You really want to be specific. You really want to have that call to action direct exactly to where you want that person to go. It's a good signal for Google. Now, before I get to phase 3, remember, if you're liking this video, hit that like button below, and if you haven't already, remember to subscribe to my channel. So finally, phase 3 is measuring your success. So you'll know if your strategy is working if you see things like increased time on site. So if users are clicking from the cluster into the pillar and reading more content and going maybe back and forth, it's going to increase their time on site, which you're going to see is valuable for you and which Google looks at as well. Your keyword ranking growth, your pillar page is going to start ranking for high volume, competitive terms, because the clusters are passing link juice up to it. So you should see your keyword rankings increase. And of course, your topical authority. You're going to start ranking faster for new content published with that topic because Google simply trusts your site. So don't just throw content out there. Don't just throw blog posts out there. You need to build that ecosystem. You can't just hope that you're writing a ton of stuff without pillar pages, without clusters, without proper tagging, and expect Google just to start ranking you higher. No, it's not going to happen. Like I said, it's like the library. If you walk into a library and all the books are all over the place, and you'd walk out. You'd be like, I don't know where to find anything. But if you walked in and you could see signs and organized shelves and that Dewey Decimal System and are able to find exactly what you're looking for easily, comprehensively, simply, it's not going to prevent users from coming to your site and doing what you want them to do. So remember to do the following 4. Identify 3 to 5 pillars. Okay, this is the broad foundation of your brand, and make sure that you are following those pillars. Number 2, create that ultimate guide. Make sure that you have a comprehensive pillar page, each of those keywords, right? You don't want to leave any stone unturned. Okay, support it with those clusters, those long tail articles that really get in depth, that really show to Google you're the expert, and then link internally. Remember to connect them all to prove expertise. Make sure that if somebody's reading your site, they can easily just click to the next thing if they want to know more. Remember, people are going to be engaged by great informative content, and you want to keep them moving. And if you're moving from these scattered posts to an organized content hub, you're going to turn your website into that authority figure that search engines, especially Google, and customers just can't ignore. And for more advice on how to get your website's content noticed online and turn it into a lead generation machine, then I want you to check out this video.